Hello, loves. Welcome to Tea Time with Monica. Now, keeping with the month of love, we are going to hear from Sasha and Shara, host of the Swirl and Sip podcast, on how to keep the spice and romance in your marriage. Now, y'all know I'm a single girl and I had my single friends on last week. So I had to go to get two married women to talk about this because I can't openly talk about something like this. But let me tell you about these two. They have been friends for over a decade and decided to begin a podcast discussing their journeys through all hoods: womanhood, wifehood, and motherhood, all with a glass of wine, because y'all know that good wine keep you sane, honey. So there's nothing off the table with these ladies, so I thought they would be perfect. And this is family, y'all. This is family here. Sasha happens to be married to my cousin brother, and Shara is just part of the family now.
Been around long enough.
Been around long enough. So welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that's little cousin
Yeah, that
family.
is
They
little
can see the
cousin.
video, little Stokes in there. So we're gonna start with a quote. And the quote today, you guys, is intimacy in marriage is like oil to the engine of your marriage car. It causes the other parts to work well. Now, how do you agree with this quote and why? Who wants to start?
Trey, I'll let you go first.
Oh Lord, I just felt like I was in church for a moment. I'm gonna just let you know, because yes, I agree. I 100,000% agree with that.
Mhm.
So I think of it when you say intimacy, the first thing I thought of wasn't sex, because that's what everyone always thinks
It's
of with
about
intimacy
right.
is like they like, oh, sex. It's like, no, no, no. Intimacy. It's
Right.
true. I think it's very, very true that the closeness and the relationship that you build,
Mhm.
that thing, oh gosh, if that's off, everything's off. Every single barrier that you go through, every single lump and bump and bruise on that road of marriage and
Mhm.
relationship, if your like vibe is off with each other, oh,
Mhm.
everything is off. It don't matter if he could breathe wrong. And there's been times that he's breathed wrong, and I'm
And
like,
you
ugh.
like, get out my face.
Like
Get
I don't even.
out
I
my
knew
face.
like why you breathing like that. What I do. So yes, I agree that like intimacy is definitely the thing that keeps things going.
You
Yes.
have to have it. I think you
Yeah.
have to have it. So Monica mentioned that I'm married to her cousin. We've been together for 17 years, going on 18 years.
They whole lives.
Our whole, literally half of our lives. And you have to have like you to want to be around each other and to do things like Sheree said. It's not just sex. Like we just started binge watching. This is gonna sound so old, but we just started binge watching Jeopardy on Netflix.
Mhm.
And it's just us spending like literally spending quality time together. We turn on the fireplace, drink some wine, he has some whiskey, and that's like a level of intimacy because we're just spending time together. You have to have that, or else you're not going to have sex because you're not going to want to if you don't have any intimacy with it. If you're not like friends first and enjoy each other's company, then the rest of it's not going to happen. It's going to feel like a chore and it's not going to be fun and you're going to feel like you have to do it. So you have to have intimacy, especially in a marriage.
Sasha,
Yeah.
don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We binge watch. Well, we don't binge watch, but we watch WandaVision every Friday. That's our thing.
I
It
feel like
has
that's
to
better.
happen.
That's better
Well,
than
Jeopardy. We
Jeopardy.
you know. I mean, you
You're like,
are
Jeopardy's
aging.
boring.
But here's the thing. That's my family thing. So that's why I was like, oh, y'all really are like just living the older life. Y'all getting there.
Pretty much.
Jeopardy can be fun because stimulating your mind. Some people are sapiosexual. So when you stimulate your mind, it might turn you on.
I mean, we
Exactly.
we do, we're competitive, so we sit there and try to answer the questions the fastest and see who's
Hmm.
getting it right. So we enjoy it. We pop some
Yeah, see?
popcorn, drink some
Look,
wine.
everybody has their own version of foreplay. That's yours. Okay.
Exactly. You got
I
to
saw
have,
you
like,
answer that
oh, I got
question.
you real good. Well, let
I
me get
didn't
you
know
some
you.
more.
Look, who knew you knew about Greek mythdom? Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. He answered some questions. I'm like, how you know that? You smart. Look at you.
Got little brains on your little something. You're running a
Like,
family,
and I
honey. You're
just
running a
thought you
family.
were just cute. All right. Okay. No,
I
that's
love
very
it.
true.
I
No, that's
love it.
very true.
So, a lot of people think in marriages you have to know your love languages. Did you all have to learn that, even though, because I mean, I know, Sasha, y'all been together for 17 years. Sheree, how long have you and your husband been together?
12 years together and
Okay.
yeah, 5 years, six years married. Jesus.
Going on
Something.
6. It's going
There
on
we are.
6. Yeah.
Whatever. You was there. There we go.
So
Because we're
did you
going on
guys have
5.
to talk about the love languages even though you had been with your spouses for so long?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they change. Like
Mm.
Tony and I took it before we had Stokely,
Hmm.
um and then we recently took it last year, the test, like the little quiz that they have, and
Hmm.
ours changed completely. Like it went from
Wow.
both of us
Mm-hmm.
wanting quality time being our number one to his turned into physical touch, and that
Hmm.
was like at the bottom for me after having Stokely. I was like, please leave me alone, I don't want to do any of that.
Like,
And it was
why
like
touch
words of
me?
affirmation became my top one, and like we completely flip-flop. We used to be really equal, and then they changed completely after Stokely. But after we took the test, it made sense because it was like, if I don't want you to touch me,
Hmm.
and now all of a sudden now you really want to be touched, of course you're not going to feel like fulfilled. And and I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff around the house and you never tell me I see you and thank you. So it definitely is important, like because they change. And I think because we've been so together for so long,
Hmm.
we'll probably have to keep retaking the test because when we get to a different stage of our life, it might change again. Once Stokely's a little older, it's probably going to change again.
Yeah.
Yep. So me and Brandon took the test before we were married. Like this
Hmm.
was at one of our lumpy, I like to call them lumpy times. So this is one of our times where we were going through like our rough communication.
Hmm.
And a friend gave us the book. We both read the book together, took the quiz. And after we were married, we recently took it again. It did
Hmm.
change
Mm.
in the weirdest way for me. We both still have similarities. Like
Hmm.
nothing flipped so much, but it was for me quality time and gift giving. Those were the things. And that's how I've always shown my love. And that was where he's not good at gift giving. It's okay. I know he's not. And
What
he,
men are,
uh,
honey? They wait till what, Christmas
he
Eve to get the presents.
he's very practical. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just he's very
You
practical.
need a
But
little help.
but he understood where, like, I was like, it's not like about spending a lot of money. And for me, it's about quality time and things like that. And for
Hmm.
him, it's words of affirmation, which
You're
I
horrible
have a
at.
wicked tongue. I'm
You're
sorry. Like
horrible at validating that man.
I'm not horrible at validating him, but I'm like, hey, chill out, calm down. What's up? I didn't realize how
And
much
he
like
just
my
wants to hear,
words.
thank you.
He was just like, I just want to hear I love you. And I didn't realize actually words of affirmation, I didn't realize how much tone went into
Mm,
that.
it does.
Because words, I very rarely need to say apologize for things because I mean what I say, and I say it in a way where
Well,
it's
you
like it's
know
not
it.
like I know like I've gone down all the list of all the mean things, and I'm like, no, no, how can I say this? And then when I do say it, if I still do hurt or unintentionally, I'm like, no, I meant what I said. Now I don't mean to hurt you, but that was how it was.
I don't mean how I say. Are you a Cancer like me? Because
No,
we
no,
don't
I'm a
mean
Virgo.
well. Because
Yeah.
we may not mean it's not our tone may be different, but I meant exactly what I said.
I was not confused. Like it wasn't like he used to say I said the like most vindictive and vicious things. And I said, you really? That's what I said. Oh, sweetie, my brain went through. That was like the fifth thing on my mind. And he was just like, he's like, well, I say I had to give him an example of like the first thought that I had was really
Hmm.
like really mean. And he's like, oh. I say, yeah, I truly think and censor myself because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I didn't realize tone mattered so much to him. And
Mm.
I could like even when I'm a boss. Well, I was a boss, still technically a boss in different ways. But
Hmm.
the way that I talk is he's like, you're always in supervisor mode. And I said, huh? And he said, like you talking to someone that you like you they work for you. And I said, I do. He said, yeah, like you tell me what to do. And I said, oh.
Oh, Tony and I had to have a whole conversation about that because
Wow.
he's very much like, you have to, he wants things done on when he says,
On
like
his
on his
time.
Mm.
timetable. And I'm like, no, like not everything's gonna be done when you want it done. That's not how this works here. Like you just gonna have to let that go. He's like, no, because or like he wants it done his way. And it's like, well, you
Uh
either want it done or it's not gonna get done. So Like,
Look,
it's a
it
fine balance.
can't be done your way and done.
Yeah, no. He's like, well, if I told you to do it this way, then that's the way that makes the most sense. And I'm like,
Well, that's
mm-hmm.
your way of thinking, not
Right.
my way of
See,
thinking.
see that
Y'all,
phrase right
look,
there
y'all
would have been a
scaring a
whole
single girl
conversation.
right here. You
So here's
know.
the thing. But the thing is that, like, the reason that I think the love language is coming back to the love language, the reason that it's important is when we took that test, it did give us clarity, even before we were married and after when we took it again. It gives you a really good clarity of how you're missing each other and
Mm.
like I was always a person who I'm like, I'm spending time with you and I see something and I'm out and I think about you. Like, I give the best gifts. I know that he's told me that. So I'm like, I'm giving my love language. And he's sitting there like, all I want is I love you and thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
But I hear that, even with romance and in the bedroom, we usually do to our partners or give to our partners what we actually want. Do
Yes.
y'all see the hands nod like yes?
Yes.
And see, I know about it in sex because I've read about it, but I'm hearing like that's the same thing with the love language. Like you do overly do it trying to send the message, but
Well,
until
because
you have the conversation, it's not valid.
it's how you perceive what love is. And
Yes.
so if for me, if and Cyrus apparently, if all I want to hear is like, oh, you're doing a good job, I see you, and all you're doing is like acts of service, like you do the laundry, you do the dishes and
Hmm.
things like that, like I appreciate that, but I'm more likely to tell you, oh, well, thank you for doing that, and you're not going to do the same to me. So I'm over here feeling like, ugh, he doesn't, he don't see me, he don't love me like how he used to, and
Hmm.
he's over here thinking, well, I've been doing XYZ around the house, so that means that I love her. So you just end up missing each other because you're literally not speaking the same language. You're not receiving love. You're giving love in a way that the other person most likely isn't receiving it.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I could be sitting there like, hey, as y'all, everyone knows, like, I love to do, even though physical touch is not my thing in terms
Mhm.
of love language, but I am
Okay,
an
so hold on,
affectionate
wait a
person.
minute. But we're gonna get to that when we get to the other
Because I was like,
spiciness
yeah,
because
because
both
it's
of
not my
y'all are
thing.
more somebody in
It's
the relationship isn't about the physical touch. And I'm like, wait a minute,
no.
how does this
So funny
work?
thing is neither me or Brandon's physical touch thing, but I am affectionate. Now that is the thing
Okay.
that
I
has
think yeah,
nothing
there's definitely a
like
difference.
there's a
Okay.
affection that like has nothing to do with like if you give me a hug or a touch, because I'm like, those things don't matter as much. However, I say I'm certifiably trifling
You
in my
nasty.
marriage.
You are
I am
you
very trifling.
you
So,
just
Honey,
like,
assault that
I'm just
man.
saying, it's not assault technically because he likes it. He
I
married
know
me. He knew who I was beforehand. But no, that's what I mean when I say, oh, physical part matters because I've
Mhm.
realized, like, especially for me after having Brendan, it was whereas Sasha, you were like, I don't feel the same, don't touch me. I'm over here like, validate me. Come on, slap me on my ass. Something, baby. Okay. Like let me know that I still got it. Cause I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I
This
mean, I
baby done broke
probably
every
have
piece
it.
of my body. I
I'm
need to know
like,
it's
you
still
don't
here.
understand. I am not the same. I need you to like at least let me know, like, hey, you can still get it. And I'm like, oh, I can. All right. That's what I mean when I say like even though physical like
Mhm.
intimacy when you're talking about it, physical does come in there because I mean absolutely.
I think
I
men
think
and
they
women
go
is
back and
different
forth.
though. I
You
think
do?
physical touch for men and women is different. Yeah, because I very much think physical touch for Tony is I want you to have sex with me. Like
Mm,
and for him it's like I want you to initiate sex with me. Like I don't always want to be the one asking. I want you to want it as much as I do. And I
Mhm.
think women tend to be more like, oh well, because I mean I'll give him kisses before work, and I'll
Mhm.
come lay on you on the sofa and stuff like that, and that's a form of physical touch. But and I'm sure he appreciates it because he also is very much like he has to have. It's really weird. He has to have 3 points of contact at all times. So whenever we're in bed, he has to have like 2 feet touching me and like his elbow or something because he just needs to
three
be
points
extra
of
close.
contact.
Mhm.
Yeah. But so like in that regard, it's kind of physical touch. But I think for him, it's very much like no, like I mean sex. Whereas I'm just like, okay, well, I'll come sit with
You
you.
got that. You need to come talk to your
That's
Samantha
why
cousin, honey. You got to initiate Sasha. I mean,
I look,
you got to take charge one
But
day.
see, I think, well, I mean, I do, but it's also I want to say like not the expectations, but how our relationship
How
has
you do it.
always been.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't start the I want you to initiate stuff until after we had Stokely. He never it was never an issue for him before, and I was never really the one to initiate before. It's always been him. But of course, the difference between us being 17 and being 30, almost 35 is a lot different. At that point, I don't know how much
I
initiating
was
either
gonna
of
say
us
the
were doing.
wind can blow,
We
and
were
he's
like,
like, "Oh,
yeah, it was like, oh, you blew my neck. Let's do it. Like,
look, man, I saw how
Right.
you
When
looked
you're
at me.
17,
You
you're
know
just happy
what?
to be having,
Like I'm
like
just,
when you're younger in college and your younger age, you're like, oh, I'm just happy. When
you
you get
can't
older,
believe
you
this is
gotta be a
happening.
little right. You like, what did Eddie Murphy say? What was that on Delirious? He was like, you got the excited face.
well, because when you're
Yes,
younger and in college and stuff like that, you don't live with the person, you don't see them all the time. So whenever you see them, it's like, oh, we gotta do this because we,
hey, right
don't know when
now,
we're gonna see each other again. Now it's like, well, I see you every day, so
like
we can try this again tomorrow. Like we've definitely had conversations where
Mhm.
I've wanted to, but my desire for sleep is more. So I'll
that
be
does
like,
happen.
well, just let me take a nap. Like wake me up in an hour and I'm there. Like I got you in about an hour, but
So
right
how
now,
do you juggle that? I mean, because both of you all are moms, your kids are young,
sometimes you just gotta
I
power
am.
through
So
it.
here's the thing: I am way more trifling than Sasha. I would just put it like that. I am so whereas Sasha is like not the initiator, I actually have been told the exact opposite. That is like, hey, yo, you too aggressive. You too like you do too like, and I'm just like, I'm just saying, you really
See, there go
roasted
your
these
supervisor.
vegetables. See,
There go
I'm
your
sitting there and I'm just like, I really like how you did them vegetables. Hey, come here, come here. Hey, put your
See,
pants down real quick. See,
I'll do stuff like that. Like I'll give him like if he come out the shower, I'll be like, ooh, like I give him a little look. Like today he had on these little white, I don't even know, they're running
I was gonna say
jogger
if you said
thingies and
thong, I
they
thought you were
show
saying
you
thong.
about to say, please
everything.
don't say
No,
my cousin wearing them.
they're pants,
I
but they're like
thought you were
leggings.
saying
He wears them
thong.
to run and they cover nothing. They're white. You're supposed to wear shorts on top of them. So I'm like, oh, you just showing off today? You just gonna leave your stuff out like that? And like I'll say stuff like that, but he always takes it as
As
me
a
being
joke.
silly. Like it's not me, I'm not really like flirting with them or hitting on them or nothing like that. Cause I'll come out the shower and he might be, sitting in bed and I'll just start dancing. I'm all the way
It
naked and
seems
he's
like
just
y'all
like, you're
need to
silly.
give to each other some pointers. You need to tell her how to
Look,
back off. She need to tell
I'm
you
just
how to
saying,
get it on.
like I'm over here like anytime, like I am the anytime you ready, sir. No, you don't have to ask. If you want, anytime you say yes, I'm like sure.
Did either of you feel like after having the baby, like the sex drive diminished or it heightened or what happened there?
I feel my, oh,
During pregnancy, it was definitely up.
I didn't know. I didn't
Like,
have that during
oh gosh,
pregnancy.
I had the full-fledged like pregnant sex when they say it's the best. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This could never end. After I don't think it diminished because of intimacy, but like Sasha was talking about the sleep.
Mm-hmm.
We were so tired. Like it was one of those things like, yo, the thing that needs us to take care of it, that can't do anything on its own, needs us, and then we need to sleep. And then eventually we're like, oh gosh, we do need to like remember that we also were parents. Before we were parents, we were like a whole couple.
Y'all were nasty.
We were trifling
Yeah.
before, and like it's hard to get trifling when you like you get into that mood and then like the baby crying, you're like, oh come on, man.
You
I
got
don't
to
think
stop.
I don't think mine's diminished. I think what happened is his increased and
Mm.
then because we always were pretty on the same level as far as sex drive. If anything, there was definitely a point where his was a lot lower than mine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, I guess we're not doing anything because he just was never really into it. And so I think at one point we leveled out, and then when I had Stokely, like his increase,
He
but
was
I'm
like, you
tired. Like I
pushed the
don't want to do
whole
nothing.
baby out. He
Yeah.
was like, you are amazing.
Yeah.
That was mine. I got to get my
He's
heart. I
like,
got to see
oh
if it's
my
still fit. I got to see
gosh.
if that's
Yeah,
still my
he's like,
fit.
oh my goodness.
Well,
I
hold
need
on,
to
no,
just
because
check
I keep
this.
hearing you say, like, Shara, I keep hearing you say you trifling in the bedroom. Now, y'all remember when Monique, the comedian Monique, said you got to be the freakiest bitch in America for your
Yes,
husband. Like,
absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like I will never not say no to something that he wants to try. So
do
like
you initiate? Because you said you don't initiate. So, do you initiate something you want to try? Have you explored?
see for me I'm not really like he kind of does what I need him to do. So I'm not really like, I want you
Sasha,
to
oh my God.
try.
Okay,
She-
I
child, we
want
gonna
you to
I got
try
some.
X,
she
Y,
like-
and Z. Like I have to, what I have told him, like, I need you to manhandle me every now and then. Like I've told him stuff like that, and I
Sheree,
physically
Sasha's gifts
can't.
needs to be some books.
Look,
Reading is
no,
fundamental.
she,
It
look,
works
she,
for us.
look,
You get your
she
girl
be
some
getting hers. Look, she gets it when she needs to get it. So it's the
Well,
thing
because
is,
I'm
it's
like,
about
just because one thing one day he was over like I stoked he was gone. I think he just like randomly like kissed me in the kitchen and like put me up on the countertop. But
perfect
he
time.
wasn't serious with it. He was like, I'm gonna do this real quick and then stop. And so I told him, I was like, well, you need to do that more often. Like
Mhm.
do that. What you
That you
just did, do that. Like, don't do it just to play around. Do that. And I can't manhandle him. I mean, he's 6'3". It's not gonna happen.
You ain't
But
got to manhandle
You
him.
don't
You
have
just
to
got to find the right.
manhandle
You got to
him.
find the right times. Like
Right.
for example, you can tackle somebody at the knees.
I mean, I will say
He
I'm
said,
very
"Oh, but
much.
He'll go
Sheree, did you
down.
say tackle him at the knees?"
He's tall. He's 6'3". He'll go
I know
down.
how tall my look, audience. I know how tall my cousin is. He's
Look,
tall.
he'll go down. I'm 5'3".
I
have
don't
to
have a
learn how to,
problem.
like,
I don't have a problem telling him in the moment, like, do this or do that. Like, that's not a problem.
mm,
When now that we've been together for so long, that's another thing too. When you've had sex with the same person for almost 2 decades,
almost
like
a,
you have to just be willing to do anything.
whatever.
Like you
gotta
gotta
be
be
open.
open to it.
You got to be open.
Yeah, and I think that is another part. It's like because after 12 years, 17, it's like there's but so much normal that is. Like, I mean, sex becomes sex. And so it's like, all right, we gotta spice like something. Okay, throw a toy in here, throw a video. Like look, hey, let's watch a video together.
We do that.
You pick. Look, this time you pick. What do you like to watch? Because I know you do it yourself. Like, don't worry, I'm not surprised.
Well,
You
hold
do
on.
it.
You said
So,
you know you do it yourself, but do you all watch porn by yourself? Because I think women should. Okay.
yes.
All right. Just had to make sure
no,
y'all was
no.
getting
Oh,
it
no,
by
no, no.
yourselves
Like,
too.
Yes.
that's how we know what we like.
All right, all right.
No, you. That's why. But that was like one of the like things that I think about. And I'm like, we'll be like, I think it might be before, even when we're like having a vacation time, where we actually have a lot of people who will watch our child, which is the fortunate thing. I
Mhm.
think that matters because we can have time to ourselves when we say, hey, take them and spend a night. We have like 5 people at any given time that are like, I'll take them.
Mhm.
So like saying, hey, you pull up a video this time. Let me see what you like. And
Mhm.
he'll say the same thing to me. And I'm just like, huh. Or else he'll look and be like, oh, okay, so that's what you like. Those are the types of things that are always going to be spicy, no matter what, because our preferences change over time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. It's not the stuff he into now was not what he was into when we were kids. At
I like that you
all.
say kids, though.
Kids, because it's like
Y'all
you
listen.
look, audience. Both of them younger than me, so I'm talking about y'all still kids.
I was
No,
like,
we were
kids.
children. We were children. We were babies then. We
You
had
was
no business
babies and
doing
now
what we
y'all
was
have
doing.
babies.
We had no business doing any of that stuff.
I had business doing what I was at. When I met Brandon, I was 21. I was grown ish.
I was 16 when I met Tony. He had just turned 17.
Mm-hmm.
So we was
Oh, so you
babies.
like legitimately became an adult with him.
Yes, we were
Yes.
So
babies.
you've not been
We
an
were
adult
babies.
without him.
We were
No.
babies.
Oh my gosh.
No, she's been in the family for years, honey. I met
I,
her
look,
before they graduated from high school.
I remember, like, and that's the funny thing because we and Sasha didn't realize how long we'd known each other until we looked. I was like, has it been over a decade? It has been over a decade.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, no, like, the reason I always say that I am trifling is that, like, I think, like you said, the marriage bed is undefiled. Hey, whatever you need to do. Hey, you like, what do you like, sweetie? You like rough? You like, okay, let's figure out what rough means because
Gotta have a safe word.
You got watch
Safe
50
word.
Shades of Grey, read the
Yes,
book a couple of
exactly.
times.
You need a
Look,
safe word.
we just had a conversation about like in one of our friend groups about like the different things that people will be okay with and like whips and chains. And he's like, hey, chains remind me of slavery. Nah. And I was like,
That
fair
sounds
point.
Fair
Point. Exactly.
Point.
I said,
You
fair
want me to
point.
handcuff you? All
Handcuffs,
right.
though. I said, but handcuffs or, little
Tony
tape.
would never handcuff me because it'll make him think it work.
I was about to say that probably
Whereas
makes
I'm
him
like,
think it
I'd be
work.
down for it. Like,
Look, you
I'm
over
not
here
doing
like,
that.
so what you need is tape.
Yeah, I
You
need like
you need
something
tape.
soft or
Oh
something.
no, you know what?
A
Now
little.
the Japanese silk ropes, those
Yes,
work well.
that's what I was thinking of. I need something
Okay.
like that. See,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna
just
have to
not
put
as
that on the list.
vocal about the things that I do as Sheree is.
Yeah.
So
Like,
have y'all ever thought about taking like a sex class? You know, some of the sex stores in the area do them prior to COVID.
I
Like
mean, we took
after
one with you.
Mm-hmm.
TMI, don't tell the world what I used to do. Audience, y'all don't know about them times when I used to teach some classes. This is why I asked, because I know
Hey,
what I
look.
used to do.
Look, we are open. Look, I'll say this. I think that Brandon is more open to like the learning process and like different things than a lot of men are. I will say that. Like he doesn't have he doesn't have a lot of hangups. I mean, I don't, it sounds weird, but he really doesn't have a lot of like, oh no, I can't. What? You mean I need to go to a class to learn what? He's not like that. And
Okay.
it shocks me every time
Mhm.
because I was like, I don't know if you were this way when I met you, but he's grown into this person who's like, he wants to learn about different things. He wants to learn and understand things he doesn't understand. So I
Mhm.
think that he would be open to it. I just don't know. I think that he would be open to a couples thing.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
that's what I'm saying, like a couples thing, because you don't always have to do like, because they do look like, I know I have a friends, of course, who own a store. So like they do like couples nights, you could go with your girls. Haven't seen them just do just men, because I don't know if men will go by
They
themselves.
still got a whole societal thing, like,
I'm supposed to know
whatever.
what I know
I
how to
know what
do.
I know. I know how to look. I've been doing this all these years, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
And
I
then you
know.
looking at them like, but nah, I need you to do X,
No,
Y,
we
and
we
Z.
know the stats, okay? We know the stats on women and orgasm. Stop playing with us. Something's not lining up.
It doesn't line up.
Like I'm just like, something doesn't line up with that math. Every man can't know what they're doing, and only a quarter, I think, of women have like actually orgasm. Can't
Mhm.
happen.
But you and
Right.
I have also talked about like how, and I don't know, Monica, because you're single, so I don't know what you need. We had a whole conversation one time at happy hour about how like me and Sheree being married women and
Oh,
having been with the same people forever, we really only need like a solid 7 minutes
7 to 10
because we
Oh,
can
minutes.
get right
see,
to the point.
Look,
single girl life, you just, I
ain't
mean, you know what, no, it varies though. So that's what I'm wondering, like, does it vary for you? Like you say generally you need a solid 7 minutes. Like, yeah, I might need a quick wham bam thank you ma'am, but I
I
want
think
to have some fun.
Oh,
like
no, no, no. What
well
we're talking
definitely
about is like
I think
there's
like
that's those.
yeah, like definitely we have moments where it's like, okay, we're gonna have fun with this. Like if we
Right.
have the time, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have fun. But I think in most cases it's like because we know each other so well, like we know
Yeah.
what each
Mm-hmm.
other likes, we know, where to go on the body and things like that. You don't need that long. You can get right there and
Like
it's
you know the
efficient
way.
and it
You've
gets the
done
job
this.
It
done.
gets
Look,
the job done.
you've had the map. You've had the
Yeah, I
map for a
mean, he
long
just
time.
opening up the playbook, and I'm gonna play, XYZ, and then a touchdown. Like, it's
A
Did you
A
say
A,
in a
up down
touchdown?
circle. A touchdown. Exactly. A circle circle
DD,
press.
BBA, arrow,
Like
arrow,
we know the
soar.
cheat code. No, but we did have that conversation, and they were like, "Yeah, I need a good 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry,
Yeah, we were with two
I
of our single
refuse."
friends,
Oh
and they were
no,
like,
I
"Oh
didn't
no,
say
like two
hours.
hours,"
Oh
and we were
no,
like, "No, that's
I
too
They must
long."
be still young because I'm damn near 40. I know how to get in and get out, but I do
ex-
like to have my fun.
exactly, and fun is not included in the like. I'm talking about like when you get to the you know that this is going to take you there. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it don't take long to get you there. It's like the actual getting you there ain't
Mm-hmm.
ain't an hour. It should not be an hour.
So then with having a child, like if the child is asleep or you're getting ready, is it like to sneak in the shower a little bit sometimes? Or all right, they just got put down. We got to
I
You have to. I think that's what
uh
makes it fun.
yeah.
I really
yeah.
think that's what makes it fun. Like it's those unexpected moments where it's like, "Oh, we gonna do this real quick. Like I need you to
Oh yeah.
focus.
Look,
We got
look at me.
5 minutes."
Look at
I'm
me.
gonna coach you. I'm gonna coach you.
Look, shh, you stay quiet. Let's go. Look. No, but that is true. I mean, one of our dreams as parents, and I don't know if this is a good dream. Like, don't call
Oh,
no
you just
people
want
on
to.
us.
Oh, poor
We
Brenda.
gonna
You
scar.
want to
Yes, we
scar.
want to scar our child. Like, I'm talking about the good, like sitting in the kitchen ass slap. Hey, parents, come on, y'all. I'm just saying. Hey, you know your mama still got
But
it. Just
no,
know.
I think almost like it's good for your kids to see some level of
Oh
intimacy
yeah.
once they are older, because I think that also translates to help them when they have relationships, right?
Agreed.
Definitely. Yeah, because
Yes.
I didn't see any of that with my parents. My parents
Uh,
never held hands. They never like gave kisses or anything like that. Very rarely would I see it. And I want Stokely to like know that his parents love each other. Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
and that we still find each other. Because of course he's not gonna understand it when he's younger. But as he gets older, he's gonna be like, oh damn, my parents like still actually find each other attractive and like want to
Hmm.
be together. Like they're just
right,
not together because they've been together forever.
It's
right.
that
Because
extension of love.
yeah, because like I hear some, married people who have problems like all we've had is time, and they don't actually take the time to do some of the things that you all do, taking, retaking that love language test, trying to talk about the intimacy, find that time.
I mean,
So
you
to be
have
honest
to.
about finding that time, so like we've gone through moments where we've had to say, okay, no, we're scheduling this. And it's like, what? You're going to schedule? It's like, no. Understand that it sounds boring, but it's like, no, that means that you are dedicating a moment in time where you say, no, this is our time. Now, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to make it like a business meeting, like, hey, come on, get in and get out. But it's like, we're focusing on each other on this day, on this time, until we can get back to that spontaneity, that hey, any moment, because it does happen where you get into the rut where you're like, I would prefer to sleep, or I have so many other things to do, and like, yeah, we kind of want to, but do we really feel like it? Not always.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it goes on and you're like, oh, it's been a while, and you don't realize it. And then you're starting to, one person or another might feel rejected or
Yep.
regret or like some kind of resentment, like, oh, so you don't love me. And then it
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
goes into them, like, if
Because
you go into them thoughts.
marriage is nothing but cycles. You go very much in and out of love, in and out of liking each other, of having to deal with each other, and and especially once you have kids and all of that, you just get used to the day to day actions of everything. Wake up, get them dressed, send them off, cook dinner, and you just are going through the motions every day. That it's very easy to forget
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
about your person. And then
And at
all of a
the end of the
sudden you
day,
look up
that
and it's been like, oh, we ain't had sex in like 6 months. How did
like
that
it's
No,
like
happen?
six
yeah, it's
months.
like
Jesus,
yes,
no.
it's like you look up and you like, I don't
Like, I
remember.
don't remember the
In my
last time we
mind, I
had
thought
sex.
that it was a month, but like time flies, and
Right.
that's the thing. If you're doing so many other things, it's like we have to remember that we are a priority to each other, and that is what we're talking about. Like the priority that I have to you, like them children gonna be gone. Okay,
Yeah.
one day those children are out the house.
And you don't want to look at your husband and be like, I don't know who
I
you
don't.
are. 18 years from
Yeah.
now, I have
Yeah.
no idea what
Do
you
you
like.
still
I
like
don't know what
ABBC? You don't. You don't like ABBC? Dang. Okay.
So,
Okay.
how has it been with COVID? With more, I don't know if well, Sasha, I know your situation because I know my cousin does. But
Brandon
Sheree,
is out
how's
the
it been with
house.
Cyrus? Like, is he out the house? Is it
Now he
there?
is. In the
Okay.
beginning, he wasn't. So we
Okay.
were both home. I'm working from home. I've been home and I'm doing virtual school.
Mm.
So it's a
See,
lot.
for us, I think COVID actually made us start having more arguments because
Mm.
normally our schedules are so different that we
Mhm.
only see. And this is why I used to say like we never fought because we'd only see each other on Sundays and Mondays. By the
Mm-hmm.
time I went to work, he was still asleep. By the time he came home, I'm asleep. And so we could miss each other during the week. We didn't really have nothing to argue about because we only saw each other Sunday, Monday. Now we see each other every day for hours, and it's like, I'm getting tired of you. Like, I need you to just leave me alone for 2 seconds because now it's just so much time together, and you have to figure out how to make that work.
So how have you made that work with like having your own time and trying to find times to actually miss each other? Because I know missing each other sometimes helps you come
Mhm.
fonder, of
I
each
mean, we've
other.
had to be purposeful. Like he was getting upset because now that I'm home, I'm like, oh, I can work more, I can do more stuff in my business. Like, so when he would come home, I'd be doing podcasts and stuff or other stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, you always busy. Like you not even like worried about me. And I'm just here during the day. And then I come home at night because before he would always ask me, "Oh, can you just try to stay up at least one night so we could spend some time together?" And so
Mm-hmm.
now I've had to make the conscious decision. Okay, at come a certain time, I'm closing the computer. When he gets home, we're gonna watch Jeopardy. Like we'll make some
Mm-hmm.
popcorn and we'll spend some time together that way. Or during the day, when Stokely's gone, well, now we can go out and grab some lunch or get some breakfast together. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
we purposefully have to make time for each other. Before COVID, I was very much like, we're gonna have one date a month. Like we're gonna plan it, we're gonna alternate who
Mm-hmm.
plans it, because we want each other to be a priority. Or else
Right.
we'll get into a place where we don't want to be with each other. You just
So
get
it's that
tired of it.
concept of continuously dating your partner,
Exactly.
your spouse.
They're really, really good at that. We're not.
So okay,
We
so
are
Sheree, how does
horrible of
that
that.
work for? So how do you want to work on that, or
So we
how's
do
that
want to work
working?
on that, and we have gotten better at like that's why I mentioned the like going looking at every Friday we look at WandaVision. That's our thing. Or
Mm-hmm.
like even this weekend for Valentine's Day, like I cooked dinner and we watched a movie. That is something that we usually don't do. Like we
Mm-hmm.
usually are just in our separate bubbles. Even when we were home, um, so here's the thing that ended up happening. I was used to like my routine, and even I got into a routine with um, the child, all that, all
Mm-hmm.
of those things. And he interrupted my schedule because he's a
The
person
way you just
who's
said
in.
that, see, you know what? I'm going to agree with Cyrus was saying. You got that supervisor vibe. You interrupted my schedule. I'm gonna need you to get on this
Because
schedule.
I was
And you
like,
got
no, because I
You
was like,
know
it's
me
me.
to some degree.
Look, I recognized the thing is that when he said it, I said, huh? And I said, you know what? Maybe. You know what,
you,
sweetie, I'm
you
not
was
going to ever.
right there in
I
that moment that I had to agree
I
with
will
you.
never tell him that he's wrong on that because I'm like, you know what, sweetie, you around me all the time. I guess so. But no, literally, I would have like, I had a routine that I had. And I think this happened a lot with COVID, but with having two people home, it's like he's in one work area and I'm in another. And so it's like, oh gosh, I have to walk around this. And, I'm just not used to it. But we
Mm,
didn't have a lot more arguments. As a matter of fact, we did have like a little tension in the beginning. And I think that was because both of us were frustrated at like not knowing what the heck to do. School wasn't in because he just went to school in August. So this is
mm-hmm,
from March until I was like, I have no clue what to do with this child all day. I'm still working. And while
mm-hmm,
working, I'm still have to entertain the whole child because this was during the shutdown, especially. I was like, there's nowhere I can take him. I can't take him to see my parents, which is where he was always. That's who used to
mm-hmm.
watch him. I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know. But it did make us appreciate each other more. Like I would look at him and we got to spend more time where I got to see him be dad. And that was sexy to me because I
And
was
Sheree, I
like,
don't think there's anything that's not sexy to you because you just said
Everything
he
is
could cook a
sexy to Shrey.
vegetable and
I'm
you
just saying, hey,
ready.
look, you haven't had the roasted vegetables. They are really, really good. I like
Tyrus apparently makes
vegetables.
some very good broccoli.
He really makes a good roasted broccoli because he doesn't cook often. I'm the main cook. So when he does
Okay.
certain things and I'm like, I forget. And I'm like, what? I forgot there was a reason that you wooed me. I don't remember these things because we've been together for so long. And so when you
Right.
pull them out, I'm like, you do have some tricks up your sleeve. But with COVID, it was just a matter of us getting back to a place like we did not have a whole lot of arguments because at the end of the day, we knew that this is a hard time for each of us and we knew how
Mm,
to take our breathers. So I would take my walks every day. I made it a point of taking a daily walk around the block. I don't care where I was going. I was just like, we'll take a walk around the block and making
mm-hmm,
sure that we communicated when we were at our point of I need a break. And our communication got better because of that. So he would be able to say, I'm frustrated. I need an hour. And I'm like, I got you, understood. And I would grab the child or I would take Brendan or else I would like jump in and help with whatever he needed and he would have his moment or else we just checked in with each other more.
mm,
That is something that we did not do before COVID and now we still continue it where it's like I can tell him like I'm just tired. Like that's why I
mm.
can tell him we both need a vacation away from like work and each other at time. Like I can say that because I'm like I know that you feel the same way and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like we've been around each other for a year. Oh my gosh. And then when he went to work, it was more so that I knew that he was frustrated at being at work because he saw how much I did at home with
Mm,
Brendan. And he
mm-hmm.
was like, Wow. And he had one, like, there was times where I would need him to be home because like I had something at work that I could not. I needed my full attention. And he was like, this is hard. And I said, yeah, yeah. And I did it 5 days a week. And he's like, I'm gonna be home more because we need to share this a little more. And I was like, I love you.
You sexy. Let me get some.
Come on, come on, come on. You know what's gonna happen. Come on, come
All
over
right,
here.
Trey, I got you picked out.
I'm just saying. At
You
any point,
sexy. Come on, smack
at
me in my
any
ass
given
right
point, hey,
quick.
hey, hey, pull your pants down. Come on, come over here. And he's like, for real right now. And I'm like, yes, right now. The sweetie, the baby is like, I'm the person who he locks the door in the bathroom because I'm liable to jump in and be like, nothing. I was just looking at you real quick. Don't worry. And I closed the door. And he's just like, but he can never say that he does not feel wanted. Okay. He can never say he does not feel wanted.
Like, no, she want me all right. She ain't going nowhere.
Even when he make a joke, I'll be like, oh, really? Are we doing this? And he's like, I'm not doing this. Don't worry. I was playing. Okay.
But you feel like y'all had to be more intentional too with how y'all were spending time together, because like we I noticed from when we were younger, we would spend quality time together, but it wasn't really, we'd be going out to dinner, but both of us are looking at our phone. And we're just going through the motions. And I know you would say too, like Cyrus, y'all be watching a movie, but he's scrolling through his phone the whole time. Yeah. And so like we are actually like, when we watch Jeopardy, like we put our phones away. When we go out to eat now, we put our phones away. And it's about being purposeful. Like, okay, I want to spend this time with you. Like, tell me whatever's
that's
going
what
on
dinner is for us. So that is what, like, we used to pretty much eat dinner anywhere, anytime. Like we don't sit at the table and everything, but for certain moments, I'm like, no, put your phone down. I'll put my phone down. And that started after Brendan. And I said, no, because you're looking at your phone constantly. And as a result, I'm looking at my phone, you're looking at your phone. And I'm like,
you're not getting anywhere with the quality time.
I was like, okay, this is nice. I could have done this. And then it's like, I could have done this in the other room. Like I could have been away. So it did make a difference.
So what I'm hearing overall from both of y'all is no matter what it is, to keep the spice and romance, it needs to be constant communication.
Yes.
No matter what that communication is, because that's the overall message I'm getting.
Yeah,
what did we hear? What was it on our thing? Great communication is the best lubrication.
It's the best lubrication. That's
I like great communication is the best lubrication. I like that
because you have to. You change so much, and like we've been, like I said, we've been together almost 18 years. We're not the same at 17. We're not the same at 25. We're not the same at 30. Like, and it's only, we're going on 35 this year, and we're just different. And if, his wants and needs change, mine's change too. And if you're not constantly checking in with each other and being purposeful about how you're, spending time together, then you will find yourself 18 years after your kids are gone, you don't know who the person is anymore. You don't know who the person that you're married to. You might resent the person. You don't like them anymore. You're like, oh, now I just got to be with you all day. Like,
like, I'm not used to, but no, on top of that, it's also communication gives you that layer of trust for you to say what you feel. So when something is different and you're like, we've never tried this before. However, let me open up and try something new.
So that's what I was about to say. When you want to try something new, that's where the communication is very good, because you done maybe talked with your girls, or you done read something in a book, seen something on a porn or a movie.
And you want to be able to be like, I want to try this.
Look, you be like, hey, I know this is, look, like, don't do nothing. Just wait for a moment until I finish, and like, I'm gonna say something. What do you think of this? And they're just like, and I'm like, I know, but let's give it a try.
Just marinate on it for a little bit. Get back to me. Let me know.
That's when you gotta get, Sasha, you gotta give Tony the whiskey. What's Cyrus's drink of choice? You gotta get a drink of choice to bring the inhibitions
bourbon.
Down. All right, so bourbon and whiskey.
He likes Crown. However, Brendan was made on rum, so I'm just saying. He's a rum baby. No, for real. It was a rum night.
All right.
So depending on what we want.
Depending.
Rum or
maybe you just want to have some fun. It's rum or bourbon.
Yeah,
that's what
right. So you just got to communicate, bring the inhibitions down a little bit, and then get a little freaky with it, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
I
think that at any point.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you both for giving us these tidbits, honey, because I think that last thing that you said, communication is the best lubrication. I'm gonna take that with me, and I hope the audience does too, because I think that was the best advice. Like, you guys have dropped so many gems tonight, but I think that is really the gem to take away. Definitely.
You have to. I mean, it's all about, that's the only thing that will keep not only a marriage, any relationship. Like, you have to just talk and figure out who this person is, or you're not gonna get anywhere.
There is no intimacy without communication. Like, that's just throughout any years and without any relationship.
Yeah. Well, lastly, before you all go, can you tell my audience how they can follow you and definitely listen to what you all have to say on Swirl and Sip?
Yeah, Sheree's gonna let me do this.
I'm gonna let her do this.
The part I do on the podcast. So we are on Instagram at Swirl and Sip Podcast. You can visit our website at swirlandsip.podcast.com. You can email us at hello@swirlandsip.podcast. Podcast is available on all major podcast platforms. You actually can become a part of our Sip Squad on Patreon. It's patreon.com/swirlandsip podcast. And we have a lot of benefits for if you become part of our Sip Squad. And we also have a lot of events. So we do events with our podcast. We have virtual events that we do. So this weekend, actually, we're doing a wine and watercolor. Wine and watercolor. But we were planning like self-care event, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So we have events planned all the way out through June. But yeah, you can come listen to our show. This is essentially what me and Sheree are like all the time. We are foolish every time.
We don't have no sense. It's okay.
No sense. I love it though. It shows true friendship. So, but like I said, I know y'all, but now my audience will know you all. It shows true friendship.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And again, audience, thank you for listening to Tea Time with Monica. Bye, loves.